Hey everybody, Stu Smith here going live. Hope you guys are well today. Happy Monday. I am much better than last Monday, where I was on day one of COVID. Wasn't a horrible week. Basically had a head cold with a stuffed nose, a little bit of a cough. Um, Still have some lingering lung congestion, but overall, it's basically a cold. Luckily for me, I've seen a lot of people do worse with it. Um, but I had to kind of lay off my office area just because my dad lives with me and he's almost 80 with some health issues. So last thing I want to do is get him sick. So had to isolate a little bit. Took some good naps, 15 hours of sleep a couple of days. So it did kick my butt a little bit. Didn't work out for a couple of days. Still got a little lung congestion, but here's what I've been doing since probably Friday, a little bit Saturday. I do something I call the systems check. So it's just a normal workout that I like to do. Resembles mobility day a little bit, but it looks like this. You start off with 5 minutes of cardio, um, and you do just easy cardio and just see how you feel. Is your heart rate getting jacked up a little bit higher than normal because you got some congestion going on? Do you feel good? Impact no problem with running? Those type of things. Could you breathe through your nose? You still got sinuses issues going on. And then you do 5 minutes of a particular workout. Could be bench press and rows, could be a little half pyramid. Just see how you're feeling. Any aches and pains in your joints, any muscle weakness, uh, increased heart rate because you are working again. These are just little things that I like to call my systems check assessment just to see where I am. And then I go into, the same thing, get back on 5 minutes of cardio, come back and do like a leg circuit, test out knees, hips, lower back, because sometimes, laying in bed for a couple of days makes you a little bit stiff. So I want to make sure I'm not overly stiff, hamstrings tight, anything like that. Move into the next set. Next thing I know, I'm like, I feel pretty good. The only thing I can't do, and what I figured out through this assessment, is I can't run very fast to get my heart rate up high because then I start coughing again because I have this little bit of post-nasal sinus chest congestion issue. And sometimes one of the worst things you can do at that point is overwork, get your heart going up really high, start coughing again. Next thing you do, you kind of get this self-induced bronchitis because you're forcefully inhaling and exhaling. Bronchial tubes can get a little bit inflamed. Next thing you know, you're dealing with another issue because you started too quickly and you need to pull back a little bit. So actually Monday felt pretty good. I worked out Saturday moderately, even Friday moderately. Um, but I definitely took Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. I did a Thursday mobility day. That was easy, but I needed it. And then, basically cut the workout in half a little bit. Didn't run as much, just ran a little bit, stopped when my heart rate got too high, stretched, did some squats, did some lunges on leg days. So anyway, that was it. And I realized that I'm not hurting, feeling pretty good, other than just have to kind of cap my heart rate a little bit. And did that today. We went and ran sprints and on the track, got our best Olympic sprinting groove on as we can. Man, those guys are fast. That's been fun. Having COVID during Olympics, not a bad gig. Got to isolate with my television. I like it. Um, so I watched a lot of Olympics, and that was fun. So I got out of jury duty. That was something. So it wasn't all that bad. Had 3 days in court on a jury the week before, so I had to squeeze in workouts before and after that, which was doable. And then I think I caught COVID while I was on jury duty, so that's a 1-2 kick into Hooters. Anyway, that was my life last week. What is yours? So that's how I do it. In fact, if you guys check out this article, that systems check is simply an article I wrote a few years ago. I think I wrote it. I think I had bronchitis one year. Yep, 2019. So this was before COVID, I think. Might have been. Yeah, hell, I don't know. Might have been at COVID too. But anyway, check out this systems check workout. See, before you jump back in, because where most people screw up is they just jump right back in where they left off, and they just kind of prolong feeling crappy for a couple of more days. You definitely want to stay hydrated, electrolytes, especially if you got things coming out of your body at a faster than normal rate. You need to put it back in. So there you go. That was my story last week. If you guys have any questions, you can send them. We'll go with live Q&As now. Looks like I have been sharing a lot of COVID stories with people, and looks like Ryan from Texas says West Nile virus is in mosquitoes in my area in Dallas. I'm avoiding that at all costs. Dawn and dusk. I ship soon this year. Can't afford breaks in an 18 X-ray contract. Yeah, I agree with you, man. You don't want to be horribly sick that prevents you from being able to work out, and then take months to recover from that. Somebody says I did your cows and cardio for a few months and saw very little improvement, but I'm doing your strength cycle, lifting heavy and seeing massive results with half the volume. Why is that? That's a good question. I've seen a lot of people do really well with that cows and cardio. It may just be, it could be you are more designed for strength gains more than endurance and muscle stamina gains. I've seen people that maybe are more endurance athletes that do cows and cardio and say, mediocre results. Whereas if they started lifting first, they see much better results because they're kind of new to lifting. But I've also seen guys who are very strong already do really well with the cows and cardio, and then they naturally do real well with the strength cycles as well, because that's what their body is used to doing. Regular strength cycles. I get on a 6-week strength cycle and I'm pushing old maxes that I hadn't done in decades. I am a quick gainer when it comes to lifting. However, I'm not such a quick gainer when it comes to endurance and muscle stamina. I'm okay, but not as fast as my strength cycles. So glad you saw results in something. I will say this, some people who do the cows and cardio first actually have really good strength cycles after, because now you've taken a little bit more muscle stamina and endurance into lifting, and you can actually do more. You can do more sets. You can recover faster in between sets. So there's some magic that does occur there, depending on how you arrange these cycles. So glad you're seeing results now. Getting sick and not being able to work out. It sucks. I won't lie, but it's life. You got to get used to it, and you have to have a plan when it doesn't go well for you, because you're going to get sick. You're going to get injured. It just happens. Be able to work around injuries. If you mess up an ankle, you got to work upper body. So it's not like you take the the week or two off and just mope around like you can't work out. Who cares? Let's find something else to do. Get better at something else. Um, yeah, but sick. Something I did try. This was something I realized I wasn't able to go running much, so I walked more. So my first thing in the morning, I still got up at 6 and walked. One day I walked like 500 yards. I'm like, whew, I'm done. Didn't feel that good, but I did a lot of squats throughout the day. So every hour on the hour, I got up and did 10 squats. Um, just one of those accumulative things where at the end of the day, I had like, I don't know, 100, 150 squats. Felt like I did something. And, you know, that goes a long way, I think, with just your mentality of being sick. You can be happy with little accomplishments is my goal when I'm sick. Morning, sir. I'm ROTC, trying to go subs. Want to go scuba school next summer, my first class cruise. Would your PST phase 1 be enough to get through? Yes. In fact, it's perfect for that course. This program right here is going to get you competitive on the PST 1, but spread throughout that workout. It's not just PST stuff. You're still treading, you're doing drown proofing workouts, water confidence skills, swimming with fins, running, even rucking in there to get used to load bearing activities for log PT and things like that. You will see all of that as well. So it will definitely prepare you for that one. I would say that'd be your best bet. Seriously. I'm coming off an ACL and meniscus surgery. It sucks that I can't do any cardio. My advice is this, Jesus, is to see if you can go swimming and don't kick. Just put one of those little float things in between your knees so your legs don't move, and you just swim with your arms. Now, turning around, kicking off the wall, you may have to skip that. Maybe use your good leg to kick off the wall. But try to swim some laps. I've had some bad knee issues. Had a stress fracture once where I couldn't do any running, but I could do biking. I could do elliptical. Elliptical may work for you. Don't have to bend your knee that much. And I could swim, but I had to swim with. I didn't have to, but I did. I did a lot of arm swimming. So give that a shot. See how that feels. Does the Recon eat 3 times a day also? You know what? I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't think they have, at least I've never heard of them having a 2 MRE day like Ranger School. Pretty sure they eat regular chow. I got some guys that are at Ranger School or Recon School now. I'll ask them. Any tips for boot camp? Staying healthy, trying to maintain fitness before prep. I think 800 divisions should be back out. Unsure. You know what? I've heard so much about the 800 divisions coming back online, and they, be honest with you, they've been saying it for 2 years. They got rid of it, I guess, shortly after COVID. So, and then they said, yeah, let's bring them back, and I haven't seen them bring it back yet. Supposedly, they just did it, or they're doing it now, or they're going to do it next. I hear that all the time. Like, hey, I get 800 division again. It's useful. You at least get something done. But if you don't have it, you just got to work out on your own. I've written a couple of articles about staying in shape at boot camp. Let me see if I can find it. Staying in shape at Navy boot camp, especially for SEAL contracts. Stu Smith. So that was what I just put into the Google machine. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Ask Stu. So here's the question. How can I add extra workouts during boot camp? It's an article out there. You can try it. This gives you some ideas. I'll put it in the comments section over in Instagram and then over in YouTube as well. So if you guys are over on Instagram watching this one, it's great. Appreciate you listening. But this is always going to be up at um, at my YouTube channel. So they just stay up there. Live Q&As. You can scroll through and see which ones are which. I usually try to name them according to the topic I'm discussing, and then the questions go anywhere. The Tuesday ones are I'm showing videos of the combat swimmer stroke live, so there's a little bit difference on half of them. But anyway, check that out. You got to work out 30, 40 minutes before you wake up. Upper body days, lots of push-ups and burpees. Lower body days, do lots of squats and lunges, wall sits, things like that. Got to keep you going. Can I run the PST Phase 1 program multiple times? I'm 15 and on the 3rd week of the program, loving it. Yeah, but I probably wouldn't run it consecutively for too long. Maybe twice is enough. But here's why I say it's not that big a deal is because it's a 12-week program for the PST, and then you have a 4-week program for the HPT, Human Performance Test, which is some lifting involved. So you go through 12 weeks of really focusing on cows and cardio, and then you got this 4-week lift cycle. So my advice, if you're going to do it multiple times, don't skip that lift cycle. Maybe even do the lift cycle twice and get 8 weeks of it, especially if you're new to lifting and things like that. So it really kind of depends on your strengths and weaknesses. If you're 15, probably haven't lifted that much, probably haven't done a lot of exercise other than sports, which is great. So this is a great way to get started with it. Working on all those strengths and weaknesses that you may have, and then don't blow off anything. Get good at everything. Love the shirt. Yep, this is a Chris Chambers memorial shirt that they did. 2 Chains. Let's see. Yeah, go to ert.com. Let me see if I can find it for you. Ert. Yep. ert.com. There it is. They got a lot of cool things there. In fact, I'll put a link in the description down here. I bought a number of memorial shirts from them over the years. All right. Hey, I'm a D2 athlete. Just curious if you think I have a shot if I put my all to be a SEAL or Ranger. Yeah, absolutely. Even if you weren't a D2 athlete. Doesn't matter. Seen a lot of non-collegiate athletes make it through SEAL and Ranger. All right, let's see. Steel Rain says, I do a lot of heavy compound lifts and never do sit-ups because I'm always hit 100, no problem, in 2 minutes for the PST. Is there any good reason to do any sit-ups, or should I just cut them out? Yeah, if you're already at 100, no need. Don't sweat it. If your abs and hip flexors are strong enough to do 100 in 2 minutes, that's not something you need to work on. My advice would be this: is replace it with plank poses, just because that's a good isometric flex of the core, helps balance out any imbalances that you may have, whether it's front imbalances, back imbalances. I just replace them with more plank pose, because if you're trying to go Navy, you're going to be doing plank pose anyway for the regular fitness test. Coming from a heavy lift background, currently 230. I want to be well-rounded tactical law enforcement officer. Should I put down the weights completely? I'm scared to lose strength. Yeah, we all are. It really depends. I don't think you necessarily need to put down the weights, though being 230 is a little heavy for running and obstacle courses and high rep calisthenics. You may be better off dropping a little bit of weight just to get through the academy and through the fitness testing process. And then once you're done with that, the good news for most law enforcement officers is you don't have another fitness test to really do unless it's voluntary, or if you want to go to a SWAT team type thing, then you'll be requested to probably drop the weights and really work on your cardio and muscle stamina, because those are beat downs, really focused on endurance. So the good news is, I personally like to see big, strong police officers. I think that is um, something we need. So don't lose too much, but at the same time, if you're going super heavy, it could interfere with your progress with endurance, paced time runs, um, high rep calisthenics. So my thing is for you is I would probably do a cycle of cals and cardio if you think a mile and a half is long distance and you can't do 10 sets of 10 of pull-ups. Because most people can do 10 pull-ups, but they can't do 10 sets of them. Even if you have to rest a couple minutes in between, that's fine too. But the biggest key there is if you think a mile and a half is long distance, then you may want to work on your running and lay off the lifting. And maybe do it this way, like a block periodization model. Do 3 weeks of cals and cardio, and then 1 week of lifting, just to help you maintain your lifts and see how that goes for you. In fact, I have programs like that. In fact, all of my seasonal tactical fitness periodization models are like that, like these right here. Like this seasonal tactical fitness. This is focusing on cals and cardio with a running progression. Probably a good zone for you. This one too is that same block periodization. 3 weeks of cals and cardio, basically focusing on muscle stamina and endurance. 1 week focus on strength. Spread that out over 12, 16 weeks. You've maintained your strength and you've gotten better at your cardio endurance. Do you have a book to recommend for that? I don't know what that is, Max. I don't remember your previous question. Trying to strengthen my kick while swimming. I use a kickboard, but is there another exercise I could do in and out of the pool? Swimming with fins, I promise you, if you practice a scissor kick with those fins, that's going to work your scissor kick. Right? You can also do flutter kicks too to work your legs and hip flexors. So swimming with fins is a good way to get better at kicking, but adding in 2 types of leg exercises, and they can be weighted, they can be non-weighted. Jumping squats and jumping lunges. So you do the lunge and you jump and you land with your feet together. Step left, feet together. Step left, jump, clear the ground, feet together. That's basically a scissor kick, if you think about it. How many miles of running do you think will be good comfort zone for buds? People ask me this every week. Running buds per week, Stu Smith. I always say somewhere in between the 25 and 40 mile range. Kind of depends. Some people say over 40, some people say under 25. I am kind of in the middle of that. So, but it really depends. Depends on if you really need to work on your running. You might need more running. or you might need less if you're a bigger guy and susceptible to running injuries. So everybody's a little bit different. I don't have one particular standard for everybody because I've seen guys make it with over 50 miles a week. I've seen guys make it with under 25 miles a week. But I've also seen guys not make it over 50 miles a week and guys not make it under 25 miles a week. It happens. All right. Looks like I answered those questions. See what else we got over here. Ryan always puts everything in nice little notes for me. I appreciate that, Ryan. Should I limit my weightlifting and preparing for the CFA since it's more focused on cardio and calisthenics? What do you think, Jesus? If you want to get better at running, are you lifting heavy? I don't think so. If you want to get better at a fitness test, focus on that fitness test. Just give it 6 weeks. 8 weeks if you need it, max. And then go back to your test and then go back to your regular lifting. If you really want to do well on something specific, train specifically for that event. That's what I'd recommend. What's a good weight and rep range to shoot for weighted pull-ups? 25 pounds for 10 reps. Yes, that is kind of our minimum standard. 25 pounds for double digits. We have guys hitting 20 with 25 pounds now, so you can work your way up to that. I don't like going too heavy on that, and here's why. Out of pull-up injuries, pretty much the only pull-up injuries I've seen are two. One's very minor. One's like a pulled neck muscle in a trap. You look to the left while you're doing a pull-up, and you're like, pulled a trap muscle. That's minor. You can get over that in about 3 or 4 days. The other one that's pretty seriously damaging is going too heavy. And let's say you're a big guy already. Let's say you're 210, right? And you put on 50, 60 pounds on a weight vest and you want to see how many reps you can do like that. That is where I've seen people blow bicep tendons. Just like when you see them on a preacher curl cranking out 200-pound curls, they blow that bicep tendon, boop, surgery time. I've seen it. Only time I've seen people hurt themselves badly is when they went too heavy on the pull-ups versus high reps and just crank out high reps. Let's see, what else we got? What recovery tools would you recommend for shin splints? Don't have a whole lot of recovery tool ideas for you. Foam roll, massage tools, things like that. Really soft massage. Those are good. But check out Fix Your Shin Splints. Did a article with a physical doctor of physical therapy a while back ago. I'm putting a link in here for you. Highly recommend reading that. I also like to work shin splints. Stu Smith. I'm just doing a little Google search here. How to keep the shin splints from sabotaging your running. Check out this one as well. This is a good one from military.com. A lot of balance exercises in there. Shin work, calf work, ankle flexibility. A lot of times people's shin splints can be due to immobile ankles. So there's some stretches in there that may help you with that. 36 had a shoulder injury while skiing. Did first 2 volumes of your 40 plus programs. Was a really good choice. Back to baseline, improving my cardio. Nice work. Yeah, I tell you what, man, that lightweight shoulder workout has been life-changing for me. When you have a shoulder injury, here's something I want to tell all of you, and you go through a physical therapy, whatever injury that is. Don't just stop the physical therapy when you're done with physical therapy and you're able to go do your workout. Do that physical therapy training for the rest of your life. So I learned that lightweight shoulder drill that I do in all of my programs from a physical therapist. And I have been doing it now for 26 years. No. Yeah, because I blew out my shoulder in 98. Um, it's part of my upper body day now. The just the end of the workout, lightweight shoulder. Haven't had any shoulder issues um, since. So I would highly recommend whatever your physical therapist showed you, keep doing it. But good job. I'm glad you liked the tactical fitness over 40. Somebody asked, is 25 a solid age to ship for buds? Yeah, that's a great age. Wish I was 25. That was 30 years ago. So it's a great age to go to buds. Um, I put it this way: it is a better age to go to buds at 25 than it is 18. 100%. You're mature. You're finished growing. You've probably had another 5, 6, 7 years of good training under your belt. Compared to an 18-year-old kid who's just had high school sports, maybe some extracurricular activities, still immature, still not finished growing. In fact, they even say the male brain doesn't really fully develop until age 25. So the frontal lobe area there. So let that sink in a little bit. Let's see. A bad shoulder injury. Is a clavicle separation a bad shoulder injury? So like a separated shoulder? No. I mean, look at mine. Got one right there. Had it for 28 years. No, 25 years. 26 years. Can't do math right now. All right. So tomorrow I'm going to be back for another live Q&A, and what we'll do is some CSS videos. So send me some CSS videos. Our pool's shut down for the rest of the month, so I don't have any local CSS videos to share with you. So send me some. If you want me to check out your CSS, happy to critique it for you. You can send it to stu@stewsmith.com or put them in my DMs over at Instagram, stewsmith50, and I'm happy to answer them. A couple more questions. Heard Green Berets don't have the best reputation. That's not true, and aren't that elite in terms of fitness and capability. How do you feel about them? I think they're great. Every Green Beret I ever met are smart, motivated, disciplined. I mean, damn, what are you talking about? Somebody, somebody's bitter. Whoever told you that stupidness. I'm a Navy veteran, future Navy physical therapist. Hey man, good job. I go to ODS in October. Do you see any gaps or rooms for improvement bringing together medical and special programs? That's a good point. I mean, I will tell you this, special warfare in the Navy will definitely hire you as, part of their human performance program. So you do have some opportunities to work with, folks in the, special warfare, special operations world of the Navy. If that's something you're interested in, I would definitely do that. But you also want to go there in really good shape. So make sure you can pass that PST. It's, they even have them over at Dev Group too. So if you want to take it up another level, you can do that. Let's see. some lingering effects from COVID here. How do you know you're running enough? You say 25 to 40 miles, but should you feel like you can do more? Or what kind of benchmarks do you use to tell if someone is running enough? Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I mean, I have guys right now, I'm pulling the reins back on them because they want to run 60, 70. One guy wants to run a 100-mile race for no reason. So I'm pulling back on them. So I'll tell you, don't run more than 40, period. Um, but, I've seen guys that fairly new to running, kind of a bigger athlete, um, that did great at 25, and all 25 of those miles were fast goal pace, 6-minute miles for the mile and a half, 7-minute miles for the 4-mile timed run. He was able to do that. And every week was a 27, 28-minute 4-mile timed run. Now, he did, instead of doing another 15 miles a week of running, and let's say they wanted to mix in some long, slow distance, aerobic base training, zone 2 running, whatever you want to call it, what he did was he took those extra miles and turned it into biking or rowing or elliptical or more swimming. So you can still work on that aerobic base training by doing a non-impact option, and not get all of the impact pain of running 40 or 50 or 60 miles. Because you're still swimming. I always like the fact that, when it comes to a lot of my training, is 2/3 of my training is non-impact cardio. Between swimming and biking, I do a lot of non-impact cardio. So even though I may run 25, 30 miles in a week during a peak running cycle, I'm also getting a lot of swimming and biking in. Just what we do. So you can replace some of that running mileage if you're wondering if it's too much. But if it's not too much for you, do it. It's not going to, as long as it doesn't hurt you, then it's useful. I agree with you, Ryan. They're studs. Every one of them I've met, pure studly. And very intelligent people, teachers. Just they teach you well. I mean, they're squared away people. Any advice for good CSS in open water, such as swimming in Coronado Bay? I'm not the best CSS swimmer in the pool, and the bay is a kick in the butt. You got to practice. If you want to get better at swimming, you need to practice swimming, both in a pool and in open water, because the problem with open water is most people don't swim straight when they go into open water, and you need to make sure you're swimming straight by guiding properly. And like every 5 or 10 strokes, you look up to make sure you're going in the right direction. Otherwise, you could swim in a big, gigantic circle or veer so far to the right you're nowhere near the finish line, or add a lot of distance because now you're 100 yards this way and you got 100 yards that way. Next thing you know, you've added 5-10 minutes to a swim and you fail. That's the biggest challenge of swimming open water, is just swimming straight. It's not any harder. In fact, I think it's easier because you don't have all those awkward kickoffs the wall with big pair of scuba fins on. All right. Yeah, if swimming's hard for you, chances are you're not in swimming shape yet. In fact, I wrote an article just for you, and it's called, Dude, You're Not in Swimming Shape. Get in swimming shape. And swimming with fins is another layer of that swimming shape. All right, let's see. Anything else? All right. Well, I think that's the last week of the Olympics. Enjoy. Go cheer on our teams. And I'll be back tomorrow for some live Q&A. In fact, I'll have some swim videos for you as well. If you guys have any questions that I missed or that you thought of after we're done here, just email me, stu@stewsmith.com. Happy to answer them. A lot of times these questions give me ideas to write articles, so I appreciate them. Also, go to stewsmithfitness.com and save 15% by using the coupon code LIVE15. It works. And if you really want to check up on some CSS videos and voiceover critiques, you can go to my reels over at Instagram, StewSmith50, or you can go to my TikTok, which is also StewSmith50. And that's nothing but CSS critiques over there. All right. Well, I guess that's it, folks. I will chat with you guys tomorrow, and you guys have a good rest of the week. We'll see you later.